Because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away. And I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for. And I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down.
Consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries.
Boxing experts are pointing to a major flaw in Terence Crawford's latest training footage. Gareth admitted that although he first favored Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, his opinion has now shifted. As the fight gets closer, he leans toward Canelo, predicting Crawford will face punches he has never experienced before. This change reflects the growing doubts about Crawford's ability to withstand Canelo's power at the highest level.
Early on, very close rounds in the first 3 or 4. We'll be divided on who's winning. I think Canelo will get going in the second third of the fight and land some big shots. I think Crawford will look good as well. Rounds 6 to 9, we'll be looking at who's getting ascendancy in the fight. Crawford will have weathered the storm of the big Canelo punches, countered himself, still close rounds. I think Canelo will push away and, in my view, will win the fight. Because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away. And I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for. And I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down. And if he does go down, he'll get up. I think it'll be a very, very close affair. And I think even if in those last 6 rounds, Crawford's got Canelo's number in terms of movement and timing, I still think if it's very close in rounds, I think it'll either be a draw or a narrow points decision for Saul Canelo Alvarez that everybody feels is very controversial, and then they'll do it again. That's how I see it playing. That's the plot, if you like, with the subplots in the drama of one of the biggest fights we've seen in Vegas since.
Gennady Golovkin's trainer offered a sharp warning, predicting Crawford may not be able to maintain his stamina at the higher weight class. He believes Crawford could start fading as early as the 4th round. The reason? A sudden change in body size and added muscle mass, which might slow him down. Since Crawford has never fought at this weight, the adjustments are immense. Extra weight can drain energy quickly and make even the most skilled fighter feel heavy. If Crawford fails to control his pacing, he could burn himself out before reaching the middle rounds.
Triple G's former trainer said that Crawford's gonna be quick in the first 4 rounds, but once Canelo figures him out and actually starts hitting Terence Crawford, in which Sanchez described as, quote, like a huge truck hitting him, it'll be game over for Terence Crawford. He explained that Crawford may not have the legs for someone like Canelo in the 168-pound division. Sanchez also added that if Canelo was eventually going to be Crawford's endgame, then Crawford should have jumped weight divisions a while back. Now, Crawford could have technically done that after the Spence fight. However, his once-a-year fight schedule prevented that from happening.
Reports are now circulating that Terence Crawford may have picked up a shoulder problem during training camp. While not officially confirmed, the possibility alone has analysts and fans concerned. Crawford's career has usually been paced carefully with only 1 or 2 fights per year, allowing him to rest and enter the ring fresh. But this quick turnaround hasn't given him that luxury. A shoulder injury is no small thing. Nearly every aspect of boxing relies on it, from snapping punches to blocking shots. Even a slight strain could reduce his speed and power, making it harder to gain Canelo's respect. Beyond the physical toll, it could affect him mentally, creating hesitation in exchanges. Against a heavy-handed veteran like Canelo Alvarez, hesitation could be fatal. If the injury is real, Crawford faces an uphill battle with little room for error.
Solitary training camp and in every single solitary fight. A guy that is as old as Terence Crawford, 37, 38 years old, is going to have some type of injuries. They're going to have some type of old nagging type of stuff, especially a guy that works as ridiculously hard as Terence Crawford does. That was just a matter of time before wear and tear is going to start going and things are going to start popping off and going wrong, right? Also, you can tell that the reason that this is kind of consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries and gives his body time to heal up. And as a result, okay, he's ready to go during fight time. So I wouldn't put too much on this. I would say though that if you're a gambling person, man, you should probably want to keep your money in your pocket for this particular fight, man, because this thing can absolutely positively go either way with between the two of these guys. Canelo Alvarez is an exceptional fighter, much bigger than Terence Crawford is, or been fighting at a much bigger weight class than Terence Crawford has been fighting at, and much more experienced at that level at 168 pounds. But Terence Crawford is just such a superb fighter and such an intelligent fighter in there that you can know that he's going to be coming there to fight, and he's got a significant chance to win that fight. Unless, of course, that injury is real. I mean, and it is significant and is preventing him from, really sitting down on his punches, because he's going to have to at a point in time with Canelo Alvarez is going to have to do something to get him up off of him.
Keith Thurman has also weighed in with a dose of realism. He noted that while Canelo Alvarez isn't undefeated, he remains one of the most dangerous opponents in boxing. Every fighter has weaknesses, but that doesn't mean just anyone can exploit them. Canelo's experience, skill set, and resilience make him a complete package who cannot be underestimated. Losses have not broken him, they've shaped him into a sharper, more versatile fighter. Thurman emphasized that just because Canelo is beatable doesn't mean Crawford automatically succeeds. To win, Crawford must reach a level he's never shown before against an opponent of Canelo's size and pedigree.
An unbeatable fighter. That's fine. None of us are really unbeatable, right? But people got to understand this. Canelo Alvarez is not an unbeatable fighter. The question is, whoever he's fighting, we don't question what Canelo's going to do, right? We question what his opponents are going to do, right? It's not even really about Canelo. Canelo's going to show up as Canelo Alvarez, right? Ginger boy. So the question is, are you going to beat him? And are you going to beat him today? Like when fight night happens, is it you? And is it now? You ready to beat him now? He's not unbeatable. Maybe you can beat him, but are you going to do it? And are you going to do it now? You feel me? Because I thought Danny Jacobs was going to have a way better performance.
Danny actually performed well against Canelo, but he didn't take any chances. He was doing just enough to not get beaten.
And Canelo was feeling himself. Canelo had preparation. He had that head movement, losing to Floyd, this and that. He fought some flat-footed fighters. He got used to getting his head here and there and ducking down and then pulling out and spinning out and little tactics. I've never seen somebody make Danny Jacobs miss so many punches. It was highly impressive. I did not expect that, because of the amateur pedigree growing up with Danny Jacobs. I know exactly what kind of New York fighter he is.
With that said, they're going to face off in an epic showdown. And the big talk, obviously, is the size difference, right? That Canelo Alvarez is much bigger than the smaller Terence Bud Crawford, who is essentially coming up from 147 in the minds of many. But really and truly, he's coming up from 154 because he actually had a fight at 154, a titled opportunity, his only fight at 154 last August when he took on Israel Madrimov. Okay, and he beat Israel Madrimov, unanimous decision to become a 4-division champion. But as you see here in this photo, there's not a big size difference. And actually, obviously, we know Terence Crawford stands at 5'8", got a 74-inch arm reach. Canelo stands at 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach. There's not a massive size difference at all whatsoever. Now, clearly, as you see, Terence Crawford clearly has on what looks like Balenciaga shoes, and we know they are extremely big shoes, and they make you slightly taller. And Canelo Alvarez has on flats. The thing here is, the more important thing is, not if Terence Crawford can take Canelo Alvarez's punches. It's not if Terence Crawford, is going to get bullied around the ring. The concern with the weight is how Terence Crawford carries it himself. Does he start to fatigue in the second half of the fight? Should he get to the second half of the fight?
Yeah, he can move a little bit, but yeah, he likes to come forward with that power. But you put him on his back foot. Let me tell you similar too. Remember, you know this guy named Usyk who put Fury on his back foot? Yeah, push the pace on him. Yeah, with volume, feints. Put Canelo on his back foot, Crawford. That's what you gotta do. You gotta put him on his back foot. Hell to the damn yeah. That's how you get it done, man. That's one aspect that you're gonna have to do. And hey, I would advise you to do it as early as damn possible. Do it as early as possible, because guess what? If you do that, you're going to get control right away of the judges, right? They're going to be looking at you. You're going to dictate the pace. You're going to dictate the flow of the fight. You got to have him react to you, not you reacting to him. That's how you gain control of the fight real quick, real soon. Get active with that jab. You don't necessarily have to come out in the southpaw stance. You can come out in the orthodox stance. You know, what's the punch that always hits Canelo all the time? Easy work, the jab. Triple G was able to land his jab over and over. Floyd Mayweather was able to land his jab over and over. Bivol was able to land his jab over and over. You control him, you push him back, you walk forward. Anytime Canelo give you an inch going back, you take that inch going forward. That's how you're going to get this done. You're going to have to be brave, my man, Crawford. You're going to have to be brave. You're going to have to be on your P's and Q's when you're walking forward as well, because he will snap back. He will snap back with them left hooks, right hands to the body, or looping right hands over the top, or even straight right hands. Sometimes he might even come with a two-piece combination. But you got to put him on his back foot as often as possible, man, with your how cerebral you are, with your feints, with your movement, snapping that jab.